I bet. And Buzzy and I were talking. Buzzy's in with us this morning, and we were talking about how today, even though you advance, it is one of the most stressful days for you as a baseball coach. Your team's still alive and playing, which is fantastic. But the Major League Baseball draft starts today. Just from navigating the day, where are you as far as this Monday goes?
It's a crazy time of the year, but I'm glad we're not playing today. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So that's the first thing Buzzy said.
Yeah, fortunately we won 3 in a row and don't have to play today. So somebody like Josh Smith will not have any distraction. He gets to watch the draft and talk to whoever he needs to talk to throughout the day as he's preparing to hear his name called. And I believe very strongly that Josh Smith will be selected in the first 2 rounds today. So, can you imagine if he had to get ready to play the biggest game of his life at 3 o'clock and then the draft starts at 6 o'clock? He could be up there batting in the bottom of the 9th inning waiting to see what the rest of his life's going to be like because of the Major League draft. So at least we don't have to go through that today. I'm glad. But these next couple of days certainly are very instrumental in what happens with the future of our team as well, because obviously we recruit good players to LSU, and when you recruit good players, you run the risk of losing them to the Major League Baseball before they ever come to school. And I'm sure we'll lose a couple today. We have a couple of boys that we signed that I feel fairly confident they're going to be selected today, and we will probably lose them, and they won't end up in Baton Rouge. But the other ones are the key ones. I know we're going to lose a couple re-signs, and Daniel Espino, I'm pretty sure, will be selected today, and they'll end up signing professionally. But then it's the next group that determines your future. And so, it's a little bit stressful these next couple of days.
Yeah, guys like Mo Hampton and Cade Doty who expected to be high draft picks, but really it seems like, Coach, they want to play college ball. In Hampton's case, he has a chance to play both sports at LSU, and Doty, who's been wearing an LSU baseball uniform seemingly since he's been in Little League, has a chance to kind of fulfill his dream here today. What, from an advisory standpoint, how do you kind of handle those phone calls with those guys?
Well, in most cases, I haven't been too involved with it because, he's got a lot of things to weigh. He could potentially sign professionally in baseball and still play football here if there's an organization that would allow him to do that. A lot of the people out there think that Mo is a first-round talent, and I just can't tell a young kid if he gets drafted in the first round and he's offered a couple or $2 or $3 million, oh, you should turn that down and come to school. Now listen, if it was my son, I would tell him that because I know I would, because I've been around long enough. I know the experience. Buzzy knows. He's got many friends that have signed for big bonuses, and still they wish they had gone to LSU or maybe stayed another year or whatever. Now, in Cade Doty's case, I believe Cade Doty is a first-round talent, and I believe Christian Cairo is a first-round talent, and I think those guys, by coming to LSU, will eventually go in the first round. They may not today, and I'm hoping that what they're doing is setting their price tag so high that they may not get drafted at all, because the way the rules are, if you get drafted in the first 10 rounds, you pretty much have to sign, because the organization loses the money that they're allowed to have to sign players if they take somebody in the first 10 rounds and don't sign them. So, it's very possible that somebody like Cade Doty, Christian Cairo, and others may not even get their name called in the first 10 rounds, even though they're probably right now second, third, fourth round talents. But we think that if they come to school in 3 years, that you'll see them leave like Josh Smith will in the first or second round.
Visiting with Coach Paul Maineri. Coach, congratulations. Good to talk to you this morning.
Buzz, how you doing, my man?
Good, baby. Look,
do you remember what it was like going to sleep at night, waking up the next day playing for a championship?
I do, and I remember not. I remember in '09 not saying anything about playing for a national championship until we won the first Texas game, because you made sure I knew. Hey, we're not playing for the national championship. Yeah, we got to win a game first. But it was good stuff. Congrats again. And look, before we talk about Mike Martin's Florida State team coming in for the Super Regional, I just want to revisit the regional. In particular, Cole Henry, I thought that was really one of the keys of the weekend for you. Have we talked to Cole since Saturday, and how's he feeling? Because he looked incredible on Saturday night, Coach.
Buzzy, it's so funny to listen to people, the chatter around town, and Coach Mainieri's lost his mind for pitching Marceau in Game 1, and why is he pitching Cole Henry in Game 2? I've always said, Buzzy, that the greatest quality a coach can have is just to know his own players, and I felt so confident about Landon Marceau pitching in Game 1 because he's so poised. He's getting to that point now where he knows that he's a good pitcher at this level and that he belongs. And there's something about that first game of the regional. Everybody's up tight, and because it was Stony Brook, it added to a little bit of the
right.
the nerves in
Absolutely.
that first game. And we just needed to get off to a good start. And everybody looks at the score now and says, "Oh, you didn't need to waste Landon Marceau," but they actually had as many hits as we did. And we had a couple of key double plays get us out of the innings and all those kinds of things. And I think Landon threw really well. But I thought he was the perfect guy to get us off to a good start. 2 months ago, when I saw the way Cole Henry was developing, and especially when he threw against Florida and struck out 12 in 5 innings, I made a decision right then and there that Cole Henry is going to pitch the winner's bracket game for us 2 months later.
Wow.
And, then when he got hurt, obviously you didn't know if you were going to have him. And when we were able to get him back, and then we were able to pitch him at the SEC tournament, I didn't care if he made it out of the first inning. I knew that kid was going to pitch the winner's bracket game for us because he had the best chance to go out and just dominate against a really good team. And he did. He dominated. And that's what we needed in that game. And this guy is, on his way to being a first-round pick next year, as you know. And he's that guy. He's got that guy that can throw the ball extremely hard. He mixes all 3 pitches. And not to take anything away from Landon, because these two guys, it's like, you feel blessed to have them. If only we had Jaden Hill right now, you'd have an all-freshman, group that could go out and dominate guys in a big way. I thought, the way we set it up was the right way, and Cole felt great the next day. I don't have any doubt that he'll have a good work week and be ready to go for Florida State. And I thought Eric Walker pitched really outstanding as well. The first 3 innings he dominated, did exactly what we needed him to do. I thought our offense would kick it into gear a little earlier yesterday, but so the game was a little more stressful, early in the game than I thought it should be. And of course Eric was pitching great, but then, when it's a 3-1 game in the 4th inning, a couple guys get on base, or 5th inning, he's starting to get a little bit gassed there. Unfortunately we had to make a move and go to a newer, fresher arm. But I thought the guys played great all weekend. We deserved that championship.
We're visiting with head coach Paul Maineri. And Coach, I know not big on individual awards all the time, but how special was that for Antoine Duplantis to get that hit last night and break the record here at LSU?
Bud, you know how I feel about the guys. When you play for us, and you become part of my life and my family, and Antoine is right up there with all the great ones that we've had, and he just has special qualities about him, as a person, even more so than as a baseball player. And when he got that base hit, you almost felt like your own son was getting the hit. And Watson said it best at the post-game press conference when Antoine got that hit. He said he had goosebumps all over his body. It was like the greatest moment of his baseball life, watching his friend and teammate hit the hit. And we all felt that way, the thing about this record is it was held for so long by another unbelievably wonderful human being, Eddie Furness. And Eddie was so supportive of Antoine in his pursuit of this record. And I'm sure that if the record was to be broken, Eddie is proud that it was broken by Antoine Duplantis.
Coach Mike Martin coming down. Florida State, you beat him twice in Omaha 2 years ago, but now for the first time in super or regional play, LSU going to face Florida State. They're coming to the box. What should the fans anticipate?
Well, I'm wondering what Florida State should anticipate with the fans. This is quite an environment here. I don't know if you were out at the games, but it got pretty loud at certain times of the games yesterday and especially on Saturday. And we just need to try to give our fans something to get loud about because that would be a wonderful welcome to Florida State for them to see what baseball in Baton Rouge is really like. And I hope we can do that. It's not going to be easy. You can forget about all that talk about, Florida State didn't deserve a bid or whatever. I watched the games at Georgia. They played phenomenal. And two of their pitchers, their top two starting pitchers, pitched for me last summer with the USA Collegiate National Team. So I know him well. Drew Parrish is their number one starter, and he's just an amazing bulldog out there on the mound, left-hander, typical crafty lefty. C.J. Van Eyck is a harder thrower. He's their number two starter. He dominated Georgia in their first win against Georgia. So we got our work cut out for us. Florida State has great history and great tradition. Mike Martin is on his, farewell tour of an amazing career. I have greatest respect in the world for him. So I think it's going to be an epic battle. I think it's just going to be as much fun as you'll ever have at a college baseball game.
It's a great time of the year for fans down here in South Louisiana. LSU baseball again hosting Super Regional play. The box, Skip Bertman Field, will be on Springs this weekend as Coach Mike Martin brings his Seminoles down into Baton Rouge. Great work, Coach. Thank you for the time this morning. Get some rest.
Good. I'll see you with you guys.